Hey, how you doing today? It is July 3rd, 2017. 2 dozen Democrats get behind bill to lay foundation for removing Trump for being mentally incapacitated. From the Daily Mail, July 1st, 2017. A Democratic congressman has proposed convening a special committee of psychiatrists and other doctors whose job would be to determine if President Donald Trump is fit to serve in the Oval Office. In that situation, I would think that all Trump would need to do is say, "I'm not meeting with your psychiatrist," and I mean that's what I would do. He may get some grief from the Democrats, but I don't really see how they could force him to meet with a committee of psychiatrists appointed by those who were trying to bring him down. Maryland Representative Jamil Raskin, hope I'm saying that right, who also teaches constitutional law at American University, has predictably failed to attract any Republicans to his banner. Of course, no Republicans want to get behind this because it's frankly outlandish. I'm surprised 2 dozen Democrats are behind this, but then again, all they want is just to get rid of Trump in any way possible. You know, Alex Jones did say this is exactly what they would do after the Russia thing. And now that the Russia story is, digging its own grave for the Democrats, they need to keep digging, I guess. But the U.S. Constitution's 25th Amendment does allow for a majority of the president's cabinet or such other body as Congress may by the law provide to decide if an Oval Office occupant is unable to carry out his duties, and then put it to a full Congress vote. And this might sound, threatening to the Trump presidency, but you have to remember that the Congress is voted in by the people, and they're just as fragile as Trump is. So if the cabinet or Congress did decide they wanted to claim that Trump was mentally incapacitated, they would need some hard evidence to bring to the American people, which they have none of. And frankly, the American people would not stand for this. I don't think. You let me know what you think down in the comments. My own personal opinion is if they get Trump out in any way, if it somehow ends up that he's not the president for something like this, even though the American people voted for him, there would be people out there looking for a revolution. Some might call it a civil war. Because, like it or not, the Trump revolution is a revolution, so to speak. It's really about bringing power back to the people. Vice President Mike Pence would also have to agree, which could slow down the process or speed it up if he wanted the levers of power for himself. I don't know how I feel about Mike Pence. He was the governor of Indiana. And, I haven't really heard of him doing too much other than, Alex Jones is saying that he might work for the globalists. But really, I don't really know what to think for myself because you do see him getting involved with the whole voter fraud issues, which is good. Gives me a lot of respect for the man. The 25th Amendment has been around since shortly after the John F. Kennedy assassination. But Congress has never formed its own committee in case it's needed to judge a president's mental health. Well, that is quite convenient, I would say. Right after, whatever you want to believe, but I believe the globalists killed Kennedy because they didn't like the direction his administration was headed. They killed Kennedy and then they put this in to make sure that they would never have to assassinate another president. They just call him mentally unstable, and then they get him out that way. And I guess they could be trying to do that with Trump now. I guess we'll see in the next couple of weeks now that they can't push this Russian narrative. Here's another story I'd like to get into today. Gunman opened fire at France mosque. Injure 8. So 8 people in France were injured at a mosque. Police rule out terrorism, shooters at large. 2 hooded men opened fire at people leaving a mosque, injuring 8 in the southern city of Avignon, whatever. I don't speak French. Late on Sunday, local media reports. Police have reportedly claim that the incident is not terrorism related. Well, that's interesting. Because if you remember back to a couple of weeks ago, there was an incident where a man committed heinous crimes at a mosque in England, and that was reportedly terrorism, even though he wasn't specifically working with any organization. I guess they must have determined it was for political reasons, which makes sense because of all the terrorist attacks we've seen committed by people who go to mosques in England. Regardless, of course, we need to be condemning all violence. But I just think that it's quite interesting that France hasn't called this terrorism. I'm sure once they catch the guys, they'll find out that it was for political reasons and it will be determined as terrorism. But they're still yet claiming it is not terrorism related, so why did these guys decide to shoot up this mosque? Were they Muslim? Were they white, black, brown, blue? Who knows? 2 hooded men drove up on a Renault Clio in the Arahama Mosque, Avignon province, at about 10:30 on Sunday. La Provence newspaper reports. One of them was armed with a handgun and the other with a rifle, according to the paper, citing preliminary information. And it's really quite interesting that they used a handgun and a rifle because, as I understand it, in France does not have a right to bear arms. The right to privately own a gun is not protected by law. In order to purchase a firearm, one must obtain a hunting or shooting sport license, which requires a psychological evaluation and regular renewal. So basically in France, to own a gun, you have to be using it for sport or hunting. So I don't know how anyone could obtain a handgun under those reasons unless they're, doing something along the lines of speed shooting. And what's also interesting is that the cops don't usually carry guns in France either. Only under special circumstances are they allowed to carry guns, according to Wikipedia. But I imagine that's correct. I mean, it's Europe. The gunman opened fire at the crowd leaving the mosque, injuring 4 people, 2 of them slightly. Family of 4, including a 7-year-old girl, who were in their apartment on the 2nd floor of the building, also received slight shrapnel injuries, the local paper says. La Provence reports that the police have dismissed any terrorism links. The gunmen are currently at large. Police are investigating the incident. So what do you guys think? See, my first thought always when I see stuff like this is it could be a false flag. I know if something like this happened in America, I mean, just because the facts of we don't have as much terrorism here by extremists as we see in Europe, I would say false flag. And this could be a false flag, but then again, I mean, if you have Muslim migrants coming to your town, and just the past couple of years, and you constantly hear about them raping, women, children, even sometimes. Then you hear the police not even doing anything about it. You try and protect yourself, but then you get charged with a hate crime for defending yourself just in a fist fight. Then I can definitely see some people are gonna get a little bit crazy and act on their emotions, and it's really not crazy. I mean, if this was happening to me, I know I would feel powerless, and I don't know what I would do. I would probably leave the country, but I mean, this is these people's home, and I guess they're getting fed up with it. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Keep resisting. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you. Have a great rest of your day.